saw you once, Maddie Schwartz. Before any of this began, I saw you. Alive. I was Cleo Johnson. But in my death, I became the lady in the lake.
I can't just be someone's wife.
You never wanted to do anything else.
I never tried to do anything else. Did you ever wonder why?
Your writing dreams ruined your life. Now you wanted those same dreams to rewrite it. But why did you need to drag my dead body into it?
How did you know?
Know what?
Where to find her.
My wife was a lot of things. There's one thing that she's not. That's foolish.
This is not your high school newspaper, Maddie. People's lives are at stake.
So what you gonna do? You gonna get that money and leave everybody behind you?
I don't know. I don't know.
Dreams push you down until you drown. You wanted to tell everyone's story,
Unbearable sorrow.
but your own.
This is my quest to follow that star. No matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to be willing to die so that honor and justice may live.
Every time someone turns up dead in that lake, it does seem to lead to you.
When I'm away from you, I'm happier than ever. Wish I could explain it better. I wish it wasn't true. Give me a day or two to think of something clearer, to write myself a letter, to tell me what to do. I had a dream. I got everything I wanted. Not what you think. And if I'm being honest, it might have been a nightmare to anyone who might care. Thought I could fly, so I stepped off the golden.
Hi, hello. Welcome to this Sunday. We all know that Sundays are for Lady in the Lake, and this Sunday is no different. Get on in here, engage with us, hit that like button, show us some love. You know that I am not only streaming on my platform, but on every single panelist platform as well. Show us some love. This is a special day. And we could not be more excited. I am not going to waste any time. I'm going to start breaking people out to let them express how they feel, child, because my hands sweating. My hands are sweating. Ashley, with the sweet perspective, how are you feeling about this finale as well as our special guest? Are you ready?
I am so ready, Tyra. The finale, it did what I needed because I needed resolution. You know what I said last live, right? Like if I don't get resolution, I'm going to write letters. I'm going to send emails. So I'm glad because this was a limited series that my questions were answered.
Yes, absolutely. Kay in the back with the books because she is reading them. No, Kay was impatient. She just couldn't watch the show like the rest of us. She had to go cop the book and figure out early on what happened. Kay, are you satisfied with the finale? And are you excited about our guests backstage?
Absolutely. I got right here. See? Okay. I had to get to the ending, and I'm actually more satisfied with the ending of the series than the actual book. I think the series ending was so much better. I'm definitely excited for our guest.
I could see that. I did not cop the book, but I had a couple of clip notes, and I was like, "Oh, that's what happened there." Okay, it's making me appreciate what we got here so much more.
Mhm.
Huh. Nikki in the back with A Night of Horror. What did you think about this finale? And are you excited to talk to our guest?
Does Slappy have a job or not? Like, that's all I want to know. We saw how it ended with everybody, but we did not see Slappy at work. Okay, I just want to know if Slappy got a job or not. And yes, I'm excited to talk to our guest.
Look at here. We just want to assume Slappy is in Paris with a job. Okay, so we're gonna leave it at that. He got
He
a
gonna
job.
open. He gonna open for Cleo now.
Yeah, that part. Last but not least, our D movie man on the panel. How did you feel about this finale, and how excited are you? Come on out, D.
Hey, yes, I am. I have of course, I will have additional thoughts, but I was actually very surprised where things end up, how things ended up resolving themselves, and I can definitely appreciate a resolution, especially considering a lot of this series has been steeped in surrealism, and so the fact we got something a lot more grounded and just straightforward for the finale, I did appreciate that, and I am absolutely excited to talk to our guest. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, let's not keep her waiting. Y'all get ready to show her some love because she is coming out. Y'all hold up a second. Let's make her feel good first.
She's so flirtatious. How does it feel to be so persuasive? That marijuana. She's so flirtatious. How does it feel to be? Feel like the feeling of a surprise. Feel like I got no breath. Feel like I need it. Rest. Well, it's the season I should let go, and that's the reason I'm about my release.
All right, y'all, let's go. Welcome to the stage, Miss Alma Har'el. Thank you. Hi.
Oh my God. Can we just talk for a second about how fabulous you all are and how striking your graphics are, your music, your editing? It's not professional. Professional is boring. It's beyond that. It's creative, it's fun, it grabs me. From the first minute I saw your stuff, I was like, who are these ladies? So happy to be here, and thank you for covering the show and really getting into it. We really kind of were very moved by it.
Thank you. Like, oh, that just warmed my whole heart because the team knows how hard I go for my little piece of graphics. It takes time, but I think the little stuff matters and the details, and we see that very much with your show. I would just like to know because I looked a little bit.
Look at his background. I mean, everybody here is always killing it with the graphics. It's
just getting into your background from music videos to short films to something like Honey Boy. How different has this transition been for you covering, creating, directing, and writing and being the showrunner for a show? Has it been a good thing or a bad thing? Is it tedious? Is it better? How do you feel about it?
It's complicated. It's a rounded, huge, big experience that lasted 3.5 years. So if I'm to be honest, it's been everything. It's been good, it's been bad, it's been really heart expanding, mind expanding. I've learned a lot. I've worked with so many people on this job. Nothing that I've ever done before felt so much like the work of so many people, not just the cast, which I'm so thankful for, and actually had the best time working with each one of them. But there were just, as you can tell, there was so much to do on this show, and there was some growing pains, I'd say that, but now we did it, and the feeling of accomplishing something like this always feels so good.
Ashley? Still muted. She's still all her life.
I stay muted because I run my mouth. Alma, though, this is the question.
Yeah.
When you were like, okay, I want to give birth to this baby, right? This series, how did you build your team? Did you have people in mind already? or were you like, okay, I'm gonna figure this out as I go?
It was really a long process. I produced this with my producing partner, Christopher Leggett, and we had a few people that are kind of like our people that we knew were going to get on this, like JC Molina, who's my production designer, who also did Honey Boy, and he's always just such a big part of the team, although he's now starting to direct. So I don't know if he's even going to be on our next ride, but he's been just family to us. And then we also knew, this is obviously a show, for me anyway, about Black voices, and adapting the book. Part of it was shifting the book's perspective and kind of making it more about that. So we really were working hard to have that everywhere, in the writers' room, to find the really talented Black writers we had. We had 4 women with us, and Shiona Turini, who it's my first time working with her, who did the costumes, who's just a legendary costume designer to me, iconic in all of her work, both with Beyonce now, but before that too, on Insecure, and just everything she does is beautiful. So, it was just kind of like building a team is hard, but it was about, some of it was people that we rode with before, and some of it was like new partners. And the hard, challenging thing was that I insisted on filming this in Baltimore because I really wanted the production money, and also to go there, but also to have that authenticity and feel the place as an immigrant. I was like, all I know about Baltimore is The Wire, and I make a whole show just from that knowledge. I got to be there, and so that was hard because not everybody wanted to spend their time there, for such a long time. It's a huge commitment when you have a family to move somewhere. We spent almost a year there. Our cinematographer, for instance, Lachlan Milner, had 2 children, had to come there, and it was very challenging for a lot of folks that came. He's from Australia to move like that. So it was a challenge, but we built it. And if you dream it, they'll come. What was that movie?
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
They came.
No, they came. Elma, this was a bait and switch show for me. I saw the trailer for this show. I was like, all right, I think I know what I'm expecting. And then I watched. I was like, oh, this is Black. I text almost everybody up here, and I said, oh, this is really, really Black. And I'm genuinely and happily surprised that it is.
What a best compliment.
Yes.
We tried. We really worked hard to make it that, because I really think the history of Baltimore and the Cleo character is just incredible, and Natalie and me, from the first time we met, we said, oh, this show has to do that. I'll never forget, Natalie said, Cleo has to steal the show.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
Go ahead, Dee.
Okay. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today, and it's been a really exciting journey just delving into the show. My question is actually having to do with the adaptation piece, because I think from a directing standpoint and creation standpoint, I've always just wondered what it was like adapting a novel, especially when there's an audience and they might be familiar with some of the story, the characters. Everyone has an idea in their minds. So I wanted to know, just from your standpoint, how did you come about making the decisions to adapt and change certain things, which you mentioned, in a way that fit your vision, and kind of maybe pulling away and making those changes? What was that creative process like for you?
Well, first of all, a word of respect to Laura Lippman, who wrote the book, who had a best-selling book, not just and had success with it, and also based it on her own experience as a reporter in Baltimore. So, with all the respect due to her and her life's experience and the writing of this book that got us here, and with her blessing, I took a lot of liberties, which she's, by the way, very, very happy with and loves them, and kind of felt like it kind of grew out of the book, and yeah, it was really hard. I'll tell you the truth. It was really hard. It was really juggling a lot of storylines and then realizing the black part of the book, which we kind of, vowed to uplift, and not make it just a device or just like a dead body or all of those things that we kind of see a lot. It required making changes that, first of all, we knew a lot of people are not going to like. We knew a lot of people are going to complain that it made it too complicated, or that they liked it better when it was just more focused on Maddie. So that was taking a chance on that, which we were okay with, with that. But just to do justice with the history of the place, I've never done something like this. So it was really the amount of research that had to happen in order to kind of make the choices we made, and then the decision to marry Cleo to Slappy, for instance, who's not in the book, or make Reggie, a character who's not in the book, not in that way anyway. It's kind of somebody there that works at a club. He's white, actually, but so just writing characters that are not in the book is always like a big decision. And then, of course, changing the ending of the book, which is like a huge kind of bold move, I guess, considered. Now only afterwards did I realize how much people are challenged by change, and by bold decisions, which I think make very easily and don't even find them that bold, to be honest with you. I'm like, oh, it's just material, and that's what felt right, and that's what we wanted to do with it. But people are very attached to formulas. They're very attached to material. They're very attached to genre. They're very attached to storytelling devices. So a lot of the things we've done have been challenging, to people. But I'm very proud of it, and I would do it any day again.
Yeah.
Elm said I'd do it again. Okay.
I'll do it harder.
That's what I'm talking about. I actually appreciate the series ending as opposed to the book, because I was going back and forth between the both of them, like trying to compare things, and I'm more satisfied with the series ending. I think it felt so much more it gave me so much more, especially on Cleo's behalf. It felt like I got a good picture of Cleo. I got to know her more in the series than what was in the book. I would like to know, how has working on this project influenced your perspective as a creator and director?
That's a good question. I think that it made me definitely sort of appreciate the amount of work the amount of detail and work that I put into things. When I had to do it for 7 hours, I realized what's non-negotiable for me. Like I feel like I've realized that the way that I work to create 7 hours of it, how challenging that is if you want to keep a certain kind of level of detail. And I think, as with everything in art and creativity and paintings, anything you look at, I mean, you can look at paintings. Sometimes you would show a painting, but I don't understand the difference. This is flowers and this is flowers. What you talking about? Well, what is it? What does it, matter? And for you, this might be, oh no, this is something else, and you're like, because you're looking at the details. And I live in those details. So I kind of, yearn now to make a movie again. I kind of yearn now to have I appreciated the size of this canvas, and I learned so much from making this. But I'm actually kind of yearning now to go back to something that is more manageable in terms of the detail that I want to kind of put into it, so that was just like the first instinct after making this was like, oh, because you know how it is in this business, is like you finish something, you always get offers to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you just immediately get an offer to, oh, here's another miniseries, here's another miniseries, and you're like, no, I think I need to make a movie. So that was, that was one thing. And then the other thing was just really, I think that I have felt such joy working with the actors on this show. Of course, Miss Natalie Portman and Moses Ingram, but also every actor. I mean, I'm talking even background. Like I just love working with actors. So I was really kind of feeling like, oh, in my next project, I really want to make sure I have a lot of time to spend with actors and a lot less time on like moving locations and a lot of stuff like that. And just kind of dialing in that kind of work and giving it some time. But it's always like that. You do something, I'm always like that. I'm always like that. I'm always like, I do something, then I want to do something completely different, which is not exactly how usually you would maybe go about, but that's how I ended up here. It's like kind of, music videos and then documentaries and commercials, feature, and now a show, and now, so kind of got a full range of these formats, and I kind of really miss making movies.
Nikki?
First of all, Alma, the hair is herring. Okay, your hair looks gorgeous.
Absolutely.
Did you go to the hood to get your hair done like Maddie? Because it looks gorgeous.
Never. I look like a librarian. No offense to your background over there. I love a good library, but I love, I do not take these curls off. I did that once on some red carpet, and I was for 10 years feeling bad about that photo.
But I was wondering, do you have any advice for upcoming female directors, particularly just being a female in the industry?
Yeah, I have a nonprofit that is called Free the Work that I founded in 2016. It's actually now going through a transitional period, but it was helping women and other underrepresented creatives around the world, and to kind of develop a career path. It started in advertising, where we kind of made a lot of agreements with both brands and ad agencies to make sure that the third bid on every commercial would be a woman. That's how it started, and it really kind of paved the way and opened doors to a lot of women directors. Obviously, in film and television, there is no triple bidding system.
Yeah.
And I really think that in today's world, which is a totally different world in 2016 when I started this organization, and maybe it was like that back then too, but I wasn't where I am now to see that. I think the most important thing is to have your own material. If you have your own script, or if you have access to a book that was written, or rights to something, or if you work with a script writer and you wrote something together, and you coming in with material and not just as work for hire is going to put you in the best, strongest position. Yeah, and that's something not a lot of people necessarily would tell you, but and not necessarily what people want to hear, because obviously a lot of people just would love to just direct an episode on a TV show or something like that, and that's out there for them to try and grab. But if you really want to be in a position of power coming in, you gotta have, assuming you have some experience, you built some experience I built it through music videos and documentaries, my knowledge of how to work, I guess, on a set. So assuming you've broken in, you've done some stuff, you may be looking to now, get ahead into something more scripted or not scripted, but that is just bigger than what you did. I think having your own material is the way to move forward.
I would like to know which episode or scene was the hardest for you to capture. What took the longest?
Hardest?
Yes.
There's different things. There's things that are hard technically. Um, like there was, this set of the department store, for instance, that we really was used a lot in the show because it's the first time you meet is in that place, and then later on in episode 6, you got those dance sequences in there and all of that stuff, and the funeral is in there. That location was very hard to get to build. It was actually like an Under Armour gym that was in an old bank, and we ended up with JC Molina getting permit from them to um, transform it into this department store, and that was really hard. It was really costly, but it was also just hard to get everything to align because we had, as many people know, we had, from logistical reasons, had a recast in the show, and all of that happened at the same time. We had the location, so a lot of the stuff, like for instance, that scene with Natalie and Cleo when they meet for the first time, all of Natalie's side is shot on location, and it's one shot. It's one long shot where the saleswoman runs with the dress, and she, she runs to the other woman. They go and they get Cleo out of the window, and then they run back to the dressing room, and Natalie's there. So when Natalie comes in, the beginning of the shot, all of that was shot on location, and then when the saleswomen get to the door, that's actually shot on a stage with Moses, maybe like 5 months later.
Oh, wow.
And all that had to look seamless, as if it's happening on the same place and on the same moments. It's things like that sometimes, because everything was cross-boarded, meaning all 7 hours were shot completely out of order. That was really challenging. And then you got scenes that are just emotionally very deep, and like the scene, one of my favorite scenes in the movie is in episode 3 when Cleo goes to the club to dance, and then after that she and Slappy go back home, and he tries to understand from her what's happening, what she's hiding from him. That scene of them together was really hard to do. Like, just emotionally, just very heavy, very kind of hard moment. And Byron Bowers, my partner who plays Slappy, it was really hard for him. Not that it was hard to kind of get there. He's a great actor, but just a child that's dying is a really dark thing to kind of spend time with, and in order to tap into that, had to kind of go into places that weren't easy. So that was definitely kind of hard,
That's good. That's good. D?
Yes. Since you mentioned Byron Bowers, this is a good segue for me. But I was curious. You mentioned, of course, working with a variety of actors on set and in these various scenes. I was curious, considering that you were also working with your partner as Slappy. I was wondering if there's ever a situation, or if there's ever this idea of kind of having this balancing act with the personal and the professional, like wondering if there are ever ideas that he might have for a scene, or like you might feel a way about one take, he might feel like, well, what about this take? And so just wondering, like, if there's ever
we're really good at work together. I mean, I'm also somebody that loves improvisation and like love it when he brings in things. So there's never a situation where he'll bring something like, oh no, you changed my script, like back up. Like, that's not the vibe at all. Like when they're in the bar, there's one of my favorite scenes where he smells her hand. No, he kisses her hand and he goes, you change soaps? Something like that. And I was laughing so hard. Like, he's the kind of actor that would always throw in things, and his stand-up too, it was like, we wrote something with him and then ended up coming on the day, and I was like, just do a set. Like, he ended up doing like maybe 20 minutes, And of course, some people are like, okay, this is crazy. Why are you still going? We got the lines. But I'm actually chasing those moments of magic and spontaneity and creativity that might come from the moment. So no, we don't have I don't think we ever have issues with that kind of stuff, you know. It's not that. I mean, if anything, the only thing I would say is that we both like to work like that, and the system, or the system of TV in general, and schedules, and obviously crews and unions and all of that. There's so many rules that you have to abide to, because you got to, because everybody needs to be protected. And sometimes your sense of freedom, or your need to freedom, if anything, clashes with that, you know, but not with each other.
Yeah, because that's my boo. That was all Scrappy. I know that was Scrappy. That's my boo. That's my baby right there. That was Scrappy.
Oh yeah, I'm totally.
Nikki.
Were there any characters, Alma, that you felt like you identified with in this project? And is that something you look for in a project, is to kind of identify with the story and the characters in particular?
I mean, sometimes identifying with something is just trying not to become that thing, you know? I'm obviously white, Jewish, you know, made documentaries sometimes about Black people who were in pain. And Maddie's kind of a fear of mine, to when I look at her, you know, like, oh, wow, you can really be blind to what's going on around you. And so that's a sort of an identification too. Not in terms of like I'm you, but like let me make sure I'm not you, you know. So I think Natalie too in that regard. So it's like, oh, I'm so, you know, you're so wrapped up in your own liberation and your own hurt and trauma from your relationships with men, or you know, or how society perceives you, that sometimes you cannot like kind of see what's around you. That's a fear, right?
Yeah. I love that you said Maddie, because yeah. Kay.
Look, speaking of Maddie, the series as a whole features some strong female characters. How did you approach character development, especially for Maddie and Cleo?
By the way, I have to jump off soon because my Slappy Dark Johnson's waiting in the car with the baby. And we have to run. How did I approach other women in the show?
The character development.
You know, I love every woman in the show. I'm crazy about Moses. Love Dora. Wow, Dora's like my muse. I mean, she's just what an. They both. I want to see this show, Dora and Moses. I think we just approached everything in the same way, where we just wanted every character to have an arc, you know, and we wanted every character to not be just good or bad. Like, and I think that was kind of the thing. Even I think Shell, who's supposedly the bad guy, is not. You know, I think he's carrying a lot of weight on his shoulders from his circumstances, his community, his understanding of the way money runs things in this country. And you know, when Maddie in the end looks away, she sees the lottery stand, you know, and that lottery stand, the lottery is it's just a small detail, but the lottery has come from the numbers game, you know.
Yeah.
And that thing wasn't in the book, and that blew me away. That made me the theme of the whole show became about that, about dreams of women, dreams of immigrants, dreams of the Black community, you know, all of that, and the way, you know, what happens to it in America. So, yeah, I think that's the approach to everything, women included. It's just to have that kind of complexity of like, nobody's just good or bad.
And our last question here from Ashley.
We'd be remiss if we didn't address the artistic motivation behind this. I want to know what the vision was creatively behind this, because there were so many moments. I mean, from the music to the wardrobe to the makeup to set design, immaculate, like spectacular. So I just want to know where the vision came from.
I mean, I don't know. Like, you mean like how did I orchestrate it, or how did
Yeah,
I?
or did you have something in mind?
No,
Like,
it's
I'm
brilliant,
going into
Alma.
this like full of it.
Regular, like, whatever. Like, no, it looks beautiful.
Thank you. I mean, it really comes from looking at a lot of street photography from the time that we kind of found that is actually by Black photographers and women photographers mostly, but also from some of the first folks that did color photography at the time. And I guess this idea that consciousness has moved in those years in the 60s from the 50s to psychedelics. So kind of like this movement of liberation, but from something more like how Maddie comes from suburban Maddie to Six, which is almost kind of psychedelic, and I think that is kind of, I think, what was happening in America, right? If you look at the photo of, like, I don't know, the Beatles. Look at them before with the suits and the ties, and look at them after, and they're like with long hair and, like, the psychedelic colors and clothes, and like, so yeah, just capturing that shift very, like, slowly, sort of, and being influenced by it, and then really working with everybody. I mean, such incredible people. My composer, Marcus Norris and Dan Tenenbaum that produced the music, and again Shiona Torini, JC Molina, our DP, everybody was just to really kind of find a way to make this both inspired by the time but also feel a little contemporary, not be like, oh, this has to be like not moving and the camera movement has to look like period pieces, and like instead of it just have a lot more fire to it, add a lot more fire to it and a lot more feeling to it, and be intuitive about the moment and to feel like you're in it as opposed to like you're in the 60s. So it's a combination of, like, yeah, the two.
You did it. It was beautiful. It was beautiful start to finish.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you. You are all stars, and like I said, you need your own show because this is like a whole new aesthetic and level of discussion that's needed. Like, so it's just been so cool to see you talk about the show.
Well, thank
And
you.
thank you for doing that.
Yeah, well, we want to say just thank you for being here, period, and giving us your time. And I know everybody here looks forward to whatever you do next.
Thank you. Well, hopefully we'll stay in touch.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Alma.
you.
I'll get next time. Thank you.
Bye. You said hi.
Good. Okay. Let's take this off. Let me put this here. So we got success. Okay, and she's gone. Oh Lord.
You can breathe now, Tyra.
Oh Lord. Hold on, y'all. Give us a second. Lord. Yo, we did it.
We did that.
We did it. That was so nice. Now we gotta just talk about the episode. Okay. All right. Y'all show us some love in the chat. Y'all.
Yes. come through, chat. And they showed up. They showed up today.
Yeah, very much so showed up.
Chat
Thank
real
you so
active.
much to the 85 people here in this live. We really appreciate y'all showing up, sticking it out for us, and making Miss Alma feel welcome. Like, this was really, really great, and I was happy that she came and everybody got their 2 questions in. I told y'all we will get the questions in. Okay, let's move on to the thing. Let's move on to the thing here, cause like we don't know when this gonna happen again, child.
Right.
Put this up here so we can go on into the finale, cause baby, you can't talk mess and Alma here. It gotta be cute, she can watch the playback about it. Meeting the Jaybirds. Cleo wanted to be a singer. Dora being about their life, where it all started. Now, I was not expecting for us to go back here with Cleo. I was happy that we did. There were so many callbacks for me in this intro of this episode, from like the moment that Mr. Golden was trying to get under Cleo's skin and sent her on that stage to introduce Dora, and kind of feeling iffy about it, and we really get into that. But before we even get in the dough, we got to give some lip. It was giving Dream Girls.
Yep.
We got to give a little lip action to even get in there. But despite that, I really wish that the show had made Cleo's ambition to be a singer a little bit stronger, because for me, I was like, oh, okay, girl, I was not expecting that. Ashley, did you take heed of Cleo wanting to be a singer? Because I remember the moment of her singing in the bathroom with her dad in that flashback, but beyond that, I had no idea.
Yeah, there's a nod to it when Dora says something in passing about, I always wanted you to be up on this stage with me. But you're right, it wasn't really pronounced that this was Cleo's deep dark passion that she had for 100 years. I too liked the flashback. Baby Dora went up there and was like, I'm gonna give him something he can feel. Cleo, you playing right now. We're about to get in here and do what needs to be done. But you're right. I definitely wish we would have gotten more insight about what Cleo was passionate, because Maddie, her passion drives the entire series. We know what Maddie's passionate about. I think because these characters were so paralleled, it would have been great for that to have been something bigger, right? That we got earlier in the episodes. But I loved the flashback, honey. I liked Slappy looking at her like,
child,
I want her. I'm a have her. I need her. The only thing that really didn't make sense to me in the opening scene was her flashback when she's about to get on stage after they've talked to Shell and she's going to do his books. That's the part that gave you hesitancy when you're actually going to be doing the job your dad did for him with the books now. That part didn't make sense for me. Like, why is getting on stage the thing that bothers you and not working on his books, you know? But yeah.
Child, the way Dora beeline Slappy, like, you can't do nothing for me, get out of the way. That sent me, but yeah, Slappy is very much so spitting, child. Nikki, did you know Cleo wanted to be a singer?
I mean, like Ashley said, they did say it in passing, but no, I feel like this was out of nowhere. It was out of nowhere, and I agree with Ashley. I thought it was very strange that we're literally outside doo-wop shoe-bopping. This is our whole gig. This is what we came for. But Cleo sees somebody skiing and she want to jump off the I was confused. Like, wait, what? It really felt like they just tried to like jam pack a lot into this finale that could have previously been kind of fleshed out. We didn't need that whole dream sequence episode 6. Like, we could have really maybe pulled. I mean, she was singing with her dad. Like, you were singing in the bathroom. Okay, Dora wanted you on stage, but that doesn't give like I was dreaming of being Beyonce when she was a little girl in Houston. Like, it just wasn't connecting for me. And seeing Slappy knew he wanted Cleo, but he ain't want no job. I don't know. Slappy just goodness. But I will say it does make Shell more diabolical to me, because we do think back to when he had her go on stage. Like, you knew what happened when that girl first came in this club trying to get on that stage. Like, that did feel way more diabolical with this in context with what he said.
Not even that, just getting into Dora and maybe, the later drug use. We don't know what caused it, but in this moment, I just kind of felt like she kind of left Dora outside alone a little bit. Like, it was just like, oh, like out of nowhere, I have to be up here front, stage front and center by myself. Like, I like how she left her out there.
And that was something else that was weird. They showed Dora singing on stage by herself, and then they cut to her overdose. And it's kind of like, well, how do we get from point A to point B? Yeah. Like, I know they said, oh, Shell got you hooked, but no, Shell can't just force a needle in your arm. Like, what got Dora from where we see her in this to literally cutting to her overdose? I just think that's strange.
I don't know. That's not really looking into that book. Dora is not at all a full-fledged character in any kind of way. They literally, from Dora to Reggie to a couple of other people here, just kind of flesh somebody out of what it wasn't really anything to really just work with at all. Dora is not a real character, so maybe that's what it is. But I like Dora. We need more Dora. Okay.
Yeah, because in the book, Dora, her name wasn't Dora. Dora was just she was Cleo's roommate. So they were still friends, but it wasn't this whole, what it was in the series. And I'm assuming that Dora overdosed because I mean, when we got introduced to her and with the first episode, she was I didn't think she was gonna make it on that stage. So I knew she was just a hop skipping away for doing a one line too many. I didn't feel like Cleo's top aspiration when we first met her was to sing. I feel like when her and Dora when they in the flashback, when they initially wanted to sing, Cleo was triggered somehow. And I think that she just took it off the table. So I don't think that it was like in the back of her mind to get to that point. I think that she just pushed it away. And once her friend that once wanted her on the stage with her and was like, come to Paris with me, I think she jumped back into it out of honor for Dora to say, this was a passion of mine once upon a time. And this person who in the end, her passing gave me a new life. She had to pass away so that I can continue with my life in a new way. And to do that in order for her to have for Dora's death to mean something and for her life not to be meaningless, because they could have just let her, overdose and Reggie still could have took her out, and he didn't. They tried to make it mean something somehow in the end.
D.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with a lot of what Kay said. I thought definitely was giving Dream Girls. I was waiting for Move to start playing. Move right out of my life. It was interesting seeing the origins of Cleo's dynamic with Shell, because I was definitely curious about like how you go from your father being in that life to eventually kind of becoming a part of it. And so her kind of finding a way to navigate that situation, and the fact that she was so good with numbers. It would have been cool if we had gotten some kind of I don't know if we had pointed towards that before and gotten a little bit more of how that came about and what even if there was an aspiration of what she wanted to do with that, or if it was just a quirk, her being knowledgeable and just knowledgeable and well read and all of those things, and just intelligent. But it definitely was surprising, and I do think, I don't know if it was like a self-sabotage type situation with Cleo, and I don't know, suddenly I'm questioning the direction of what she and Dora should do after taking that on. But I did think it was odd. But I do also agree with the aspect of it coming full circle later, as far as what Dora's life ends up representing and what Cleo's life ends up representing, and kind of how it basically takes them on very different paths as they continue on from this point.
You better move, step on my heart. Move. That's what I'm doing. Dora Carter is the lady in the lake. Wow, we ain't even see that coming. Plan to save us all. If we don't use Dora in this capacity, she died for nothing. Now, I don't know. This was taking me back to that moment where they were in that room the first time and she went to make Dora the culprit. Dora all over there hiding her mind. It's just like, was you gonna kill us both, Reggie? Like, I don't know how I feel about Dora being used in this way. I honestly don't. Now, of course, at this point, Reggie has said the whole plan. You're supposed to be DOA by Christmas Eve. Matter of fact, just take me out now. There's no way to go from here but down. And then we mass this plan to have Dora be the lady in the lake. And, I can't say that I am 100% okay with this at all. and it's just kind of presented to us like, this is my best friend, and you know, we were the Jaybirds, and if I don't use her body like this, she died in vain. I don't know. Ashley?
I mean, we had a body, right? We just needed a platform. Like, we did what we had to do to get the job done. I just feel like, okay, so in the moment, I'm like, all right, well, it makes sense. They'll put it somewhere, they'll put the body somewhere where it doesn't need, where it can't be found for a couple months. That way they won't be able to identify it and so on and so forth. But when you get to the end and figure out what their ultimate plan ended up being, it kind of was like, y'all could have just put this woman away and given her the respect and decency of having a grave and, in honoring the person that she was. But in the moment, use what you got to get what you want. Like they had to figure out some kind of way if Cleo was going to live. I do hate that for Dora though. And I honestly feel like Dora should get her own show, movie, spinoff or something, because I am intrigued by Dora's life and I'd be interested to know, what that was about. But girl, I didn't feel no sentimentality around it because I don't really know what kind of friendship it really was at the end of the day.
I did. They painted as if we were, whole best friends, childhood on up until, this particular moment. And I have to go, for the rest of my days with Unetta Cleopatra Johnson on my grave. That ain't me. Nikki?
Yeah, I feel a little differently. In essence, it doesn't bother me at all. I'll be honest. I'm not a person that I mean, I don't put much stock into like graveyards and burials. I'm dead. Like I don't give a ish what happens when I'm dead. Like Dora's dead. I doubt. Like I feel like we're alive. We're trying to make a plan. Is it the best plan? It's the plan we got. Dora's dead. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you break up with somebody and you just need a warm body and you wake up the next morning like, who the hell was this? They needed a body. The body was there. They used it. I have no real issue. It's a lot I had issues with. That's not one of them.
But I mean, just like in the same instance of Cleo, does Dora not have a family? Anybody who cared about her, a mother?
Apparently she don't.
People
we ain't see nobody
who are just, under the impression that she's living her best life in Paris. Like she's not. D.
Ashley was rummaging around in my brain and pulled out my quote because I agree. Like sometimes you got to use what you got to get what you want. You know what I'm saying?
What Fantasia said.
That's what she said. But yes, yeah. I mean, it was. Listen, I think we all make some questionable decisions at times. Now, mine have never involved corpses personally. However, I do think that this was clearly a situation where an opportunity was realized just in the heat of the moment. And is it foul and messed up and a little shiesty? Yes, but I also kind of feel like ain't no sense in us both being dead. So just like make the best of the situation. Would Dora have wanted you to you get to be in the grave next to her? I don't think so. So I just
child, this is stank behavior if I ever seen it. This ain't my friend. You ain't my friend. Kay.
No. Oh, the responses to this is hilarious. But I mean, at this point, they had a decision to make because honestly, Reggie did not want to take Cleo out. He was going to take himself out before he took Cleo out. And they had to make an executive decision in there. It's just like, look, Shell needs somebody's body. Now, it ain't got to necessarily be my body, but the streets need a body.
You know what?
Not the Raising Kanan reference.
Pop off, and I know with y'all gonna let me go down. Like this is terrible.
Don't let it be in vain.
Oh Lord! Stop with this story, or it will cause my death. The truth, taking down Mr. Gordon. hoping for an honorable Maddie. Your truth is my story. It's never been about the right thing for Maddie. Cleo rolls up, not knowing who this woman is, trying to give her, the better story, because this could mean the death of me and everything I've planned. Like, you're making things crumble because you're digging into my death. How about I trade myself for Mr. Gordon and you meet me here at this lake? Yeah, all of this was for nothing because Maddie never gave a damn. Nikki.
Yeah, I was confused on why. Like, we already know what Maddie is all about. So fine, but I was confused why Maddie was just so gung ho that Cleo was the better story, especially when she has a conversation with Platt and he's like, they wanted to push me out because I went after Shell Gordon. As a reporter, I would be sitting here like, well, wait, this woman faked her death because of Shell. This cop got fired. Let me try and figure out what hooks he got in. That was the only thing that confused me, was why was she so. But I think that Maddie is just stubborn, and maybe she was just dug in deep on the whole Cleo Johnson story and just did not want to let it go. But I mean, I would have thought Shell was the bigger story. But I mean, why would we? The thing I did love, though, is Maddie going to see Slappy. Why did we wait until the very end to make Slappy, like, finally be standing up for his wife? Like, why did we wait to the end to turn Slappy into a real one? Because I love when he was just like, did my wife see? No, get the hell out of here. Like, he just, like, whatever she doing is for our boys. Can't you understand that? She don't really love her boys, so she don't understand that. But I'm just like, I don't really.
People stay trying to identify with Maddie's, female and womanhood, and as a mother, no, you have a son. Yeah, I got a boy. Look, she's a girl. She don't care. She does not care. She don't give a damn. Ashley.
Maddie forever stay F Seth. F them kids. She does not give a darn. She wouldn't even had Seth. Listen. But yeah, Maddie, okay, so here's the thing. Most people have a near-death experience and change, at least temporarily, right? I saw my life on the edge and now I have to be a better Maddie. No, Maddie said, F all that. I'm worse. I'm 100 times worse. I don't care that you're on the hit list. I'm going to get out of this hospital bed and I'm going to go right to see your husband to try to expose you and really get you taken out. Maddie is diabolical. Like, she is just the epitome of everything that is wrong in the world. And I hate that we didn't get retribution. I hate that all she got was stabbed with a butter knife. I hate that for us. I hate that for us. But yeah, it didn't surprise me, but I was disappointed.
I'm going to skip ahead because I don't want us to be here all that long. D, this one is for you. Who you got, D? Pick a lady. Who would you? I mean, now get okay. If we get Dora clean and on the straight and narrow, I feel like she could be a good woman. Who you picking out of these three ladies, D? It's muted, D.
Gosh, Ashley is infectious. I kind of said this already, but yeah, considering that I rewatched that end scene with Dora singing "Where Did I Love Go" like 15 times back to back, it's gonna have to be Dora for me. Like, hey, we can go to rehab. I'll support you. I'll be there for you. I'll have you back. Just sing me to sleep. That's all you got to do. I'll be there for you, baby. I'm here. I'm by your side. Absolutely.
Leave it up to D. D gonna pick Doris. Like, yeah, y'all can go. I'm a rock with the drug addict. Thank you so much, Desi C, for the $5 super sticker, and thank you so much. I don't know who sub is this for the $5. Ashley, is this you?
That's D.
I don't think so. That's Daenerys Targaryen. That's the Targaryen in the house.
Them Game of Thrones dragon people. Yes, thank you so much for that.
That's actually my first one. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me show you guys some love, and we will be right back. Remember to support and super chat and do everything that you wanted to do for this lady in the lake, because after this episode, unfortunately, there is no more.
I said I'd rather be famous instead. I let all that get to my head. I don't care, I paint the town red. She devil, she bad, she rebel. Take a whole left, me. I have magical foresight. You gon' see me sleeping in courtside. You gon' see me eating 10 more times. Ugh, you can't take nowhere. Ugh, I look better with no hair. Ugh, ain't no sign I can't smoke here. Ugh, yeah, give me the chance and I'll go.
Ugh, you can't take Maddie nowhere. Ugh, don't bring her nowhere. Don't bring Maddie nowhere. Okay, I am going to come to you first with this Loving versus Virginia, because you know we trying to go to Virginia. Okay, a very public sit down and for whatever. Milton, what you mean, you people? Whatever. Losing my job. Ferdy is in love now, risking it all with no return. Maddie was never serious about you, silly rabbit. You trying to go to Virginia K or what? Because we in love. Well, Ferdy is.
Yeah, I mean, Milton. We didn't really care for Milton, but Milton was way worse in the book. Y'all would have hated book Milton. Yeah, he was really on his racist stuff on that one. But Ferdy, why would you give me the Ferdy question? Because you already know. Boy, if you don't get your ass up out of here, how you go from climbing fire escapes now to we need to go to a whole nother state and tie the knot because these people about to make it legal. You done lost your job for her. She ain't done nothing to help you get it back. Okay. She ain't advocate for you. She ain't write you a letter to get you at another department. She ain't say, I'll write you a reference or something. I know some more white people that could get you in there. But you ain't even walked through the front door yet. Okay. How do we go from Brum Man on the 5th floor to you? We about to go ahead and jump this broom. Where's he at mentally? Ferdy, I know you ain't that love struck. Like you can't be. And first of all, you and Slappy in the same boat right now because ain't neither one of y'all got no job. You worried about the wrong thing. How you gonna take care of this woman? How you gonna take care of her with no ends, man? You got your priorities messed up.
Okay, with love, because all we need is love. My situation is just, a minute ago, I didn't want you to leave and look my way in public because girl, I got an image to try to maintain. I guess just him losing his job. It's just, whatever, all out in the open now. I don't care who sees, but like, this is not the Ferdy I felt like that was in there. Like, Maddie, back up. Let's just get in the bed. You're trying to get too close and get too personal. We're here for sex. Like, all of a sudden we're in love. Ashley?
Keep it cute, Ashley. All Ferdy ever was Mandingo, okay, to them dry pancakes. Listen, that's all you ever were. That's all you was ever going to be. And I'll give it up for Maddie. He should have been under no delusions. She wasn't never going to wife him. No. Like, and he's sitting there like the little, oh, she loves me. She love all this black. She loved it. She wanted every chance she get. And when she rolled up there with her U-Haul and he said, baby, let me put my shoes on and help you bring your stuff up. She said, no, not so fast, sugar, but you can drop that peen off to me. You can bring him over and I can talk to the microphone for a little while, but then you got to go back to your place. Him bringing up that case pissed me off.
Window. She ain't even invite him to come through the front door.
Listen. And the fact that he references this case about these people who done been together, done had babies together, so in love, and you want to compare yourself to them, Ferdy, go pick you up some other white woman somewhere else. I was over it. Done. He disappointed me to the uttermost. He disappointed me.
I just couldn't believe it. Like, at this point, like, Ferdy, you have been working strong, wanting to be that first black homicide detective, and we just dropped it for some white tea. Poom poom? No.
That you can't even have.
Nikki?
Yeah, my literal biggest issue with the show is the character of Platt, because this is very strange to me. He literally just lost his job, and this isn't just a job, a 9 to 5. This is his dream. You are making Black history, literally. And he's literally sitting in this shop with a goofy ass smile and grin on his face. Like, it is so confusing to me. And I also feel like this gotta be the one time, at least the one time, that we not against Maddie, because it should have been, I don't understand. It was an understanding from the beginning. I don't understand how he came out the blue thinking his fire escape booty call was about to move and make a life with him. I don't know. But yeah, I'm so disappointed in Platt, and it just feels very odd to me that this is where we took his story. I kind of feel like, why did we even have to write in him losing his whole job? I can kind of swallow it better if she was pregnant and she was in love with him and we was about to be a couple, and like at least he would have lost his job but like got something. But the fact that he lost his job over like a random hookup, which is literally what it was, like you lost your whole dream over a random hookup, that like, and I also feel like he diabolical as well, because why was he acting like a little 4-year-old throwing a tantrum when she pulled up there with her U-Haul and wasn't finna move in? Like you should have known what this was, baby. Like you should. Him and his sideburns needed to, just go start a new life somewhere else.
He
Without
didn't even want her to talk to him at the funeral, but now all of a sudden y'all supposed to move in. He was just trying to get away from her at the funeral.
Job, and when he seen her stretched out from that stab wound, it just changed everything. And then he wanted to lotion her damn fingertips. D.
Well, I would just like to circle back around and just say that I called this from the beginning. This whole driving Massa Boss Maddie from the beginning and driving Massa Boss Maddie to the very, very end. Like I said, that's what it was. And I hope that maybe that wouldn't be the case, but nothing really changed. I have to say, Daniel would never. Yeah, I don't know what else there is to say. It's just down bad, like 6 feet under, down bad.
Child, the commitment was so strong. Like, we need to move to Virginia. Like, what?
An embarrassment. He was an embarrassment.
Bagels and booty, because I don't care if you stab. We're gonna smack you on the butt and still look for bagels. I was like, Maddie, stand up, Maddie, please, Maddie, you've been almost fatally wounded. Maddie, get up. But no, we still, Maddie, welcome, Maddie. Oh, first of all, Natalie Portman has a teaspoon of ass. Y'all putting a lot on it. Anyway, never intended to take Maddie serious. Male dominated in misogyny, Negro readers, and meeting Maddie's demands. Both stories are none at all. We finally get in here with Mr. Marshall. I don't know if she thought it was going to be something else. Old Bob down here was trying to, save her. Like, what? Let me just run it. They don't want to hear anything from you, Maddie. They don't want the story from you. You could have the best thing ever. They're still going to try to get the best man for the job. But Maddie tries to maneuver it in a way that she could get this story out by herself with her name in the forefront. This was just all a waste of time. Okay.
Again, this was all to get her name in lights, and I don't know why she expected those people to give it to her, especially when she'd been going about things all types of wrong. First of all, they never wanted you to pursue a story like this. They didn't ask you to pursue. You actually went up there and demanded that they give you a job. They didn't technically even hire you. You told them that you wanted to work there, and they just got tired of you. So I don't know why she expected people that don't even respect her to give her something that she even remotely think that she earned. Ferdy Delulu, Maddie is also very Delulu. That's probably why they got along so well. Because I don't know where in her fantasy land and the dreams that she be having that she thought, what did she think, that she was going to be running the newspaper? That they were just going to be calling it Maddie's Helpline after this?
Well, it was going to be Maddie's Baltimore Star. Nikki.
This is exactly why I've been riding for Maddie. This is what she has to deal with. This is what she has to go through to try to live her dream. She is fighting against a lot. She gotta be ruthless and cutthroat and diabolical, because this is what she is facing. Baby could have walked in there with a gunshot wound and a metal plate to the head, and it would still been slapping her ass. Like, this is what she has to deal with and fight through. And nobody wants to take her seriously or listen to her at all. At this point, she got to just start her own paper, or either she got to go try to get a job at the Negro. But I don't think she can demand a job over there, so maybe that won't work. But I do feel like, what did you expect, Maddie? Like, this is this is it. And I get she felt like maybe she could play the game, but Maddie could have walked in there as a mistress to the president and knew all the tea, and they still wouldn't have wanted to give her a job and let her write nothing. Like, that is just the name of the game at this point. But I did want to backtrack because I forgot to say that last line. Why do we have to have Milton make that Negro comment? Like, Milton showing that I didn't like. I already don't like
because
him.
I told you in the book he was a lot more racist than that. That was a taste of him in the series, but in the book he was something awful.
I didn't like that. And then also, did y'all notice the burning baby carriage? Like, what was I didn't like. Maybe I'm just not smart. Maybe I'm a little slow. I was on Similac. I went through the public school system in Florida, but I didn't understand a lot of the little like, why was there a burning baby carriage?
I'm gonna know. Once we left that previous episode and we got here and they want to tone it all the way down and give us something real neutral, I ain't taking no more subliminals. I just let that little baby carriage roll on by on fire. I say, nope, Alma, I'm not taking the bait. Let it roll on. I'm not doing that with you and Maddie and this baby. Nope. The mission was aborted and Seth is upstairs. I don't want to see it. Ashley.
So forgive me if I'm wrong, but I mean, Maddie, one says Delulu, one says she ends up getting what she wants every single time. She came out as a winner. She came out getting her own desk and having a book at the end. Girl, please. Maddie lied, cheated, scammed, would unalive, would sell Seth, would sell her own coot nanny, right? To get what she wanted. So I mean, I don't feel for Maddie and her butt slap. And I get it was the time they were misogynistic. They were getting her and she was tooting it up. And Tyra, I like how you said Maddie ain't have no recoil because she don't. They were doing a lot for no movement back there. There was no movement back there. But yeah, I mean, it works for Maddie. Her level of Delulu works for her as it does for the privileged.
What I can say is moments like this make me really appreciate the ending. And it's just like, if you would have waited just a few years, all of this was going to transition and not matter to where you can be more in the front as a woman and, writing the book, or Cleo out there living your dreams. But at the moment, this is just what it was. But a few, not even a decade removed, totally different atmosphere. Love, peace, and hair grease. D?
I would just like to say that Maddie used what she got to get what she wants. And that's it.
Ciao. All of that. Ugh. You used ciao. If it was the thing, it didn't work. It didn't work. She still had to, make her own way like everybody else and figure it out for herself. You better stand on business, Teddy. You better stand on business. Get in the car. I got a job for you. It's a job your mama would have wanted. Just come on over here, Teddy. Just get in the car, Teddy. Why you over there? Just come on and get in the car. I promise I ain't never. Hell no. I ain't getting in no car with you, Reggie. You lied to me and you're up to something. I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge Teddy standing on business, and I was here for it. Like, you not finna shine my shoes with nothing. I'm not getting in your car. Well, no, don't you trust me? You don't trust me? No. Why would I trust you, Reggie? Why would anybody trust you around here limping and lying? Okay, I just wanted to say that. Let me go to the next slide.
Teddy's been standing on business since we met him.
Little man. I just want to acknowledge that because this is like, hey, now
you been standing on business.
No, you a liar. I just love that. I love that.
He said Slappy ain't out here working. Let me go run some numbers and get some coins for this house to help my mama pay some bills in here.
He was saying it because he was like, I ain't running no numbers no more. My mom wouldn't even want that. I don't want. It's a job your mama would have wanted for you. I'm not getting a car. My wife ain't never been foolish. Once again, somebody want to stand on business, but always when it's too late. We standing on business at the funeral. We trying to stand on business behind bars. But I'm gonna let Slappy have it because Maddie tried it at this moment. We have been presented with the story of Shell and what that could be and what that could do. Nope, I still want my story. And not only that, I'm going to go in here and tell Slappy everything, tell him Cleo's out and free, and she got you in here. She don't even really just care about you like that. You might as well just flip on her and just give me the story, give me the cosign, and, we can get you free. Yeah, I don't give a damn what you know. I don't give a damn who said what. Whatever she did, it was for our children. Get out my face, white lady. I was here for this, and I was here for Slappy. Slappy gonna be Slappy behind bars. He back there making jokes. living his best life and just doing his little time. But like, yeah, I'm not turning on my wife. Are you crazy? D?
Better late than never, I guess. It would have been nice to maybe see some of this energy happen before you were trapped in jail. Just stuck behind the bars. However, I was wondering how this was going to play out, and of course, I mean, of course, Maddie was going to let the chopper sing as far as Cleo's situation. I'm just like, Lord, and okay, if I'm not mistaken, it really sounded like she wanted. I don't know, just this whole thing as far as blowing her spot up for the sake of the story. It just was. I mean, I guess I can't put much past her, but it still was surprising. I'm thinking at this point, maybe we have an understanding, maybe we have some clarity about the situation, but no. As only Slappy can do, actually, as only anybody can do when it comes to Maddie, especially everybody on the black hand side, I'm thankful that she got embarrassed, told where to go, and sent on her way. It's always, listen, it's always a delight. It's always a highlight, and it's always a moment in this series when Maddie gets told where to go, and we know exactly where she's going.
She tried to, she got everywhere. She's limping. Well, I got stabbed by Stefan's mother. I'm having a hard time in life. If you could just turn on Cleo. Ow, my side. It's just so painful. I'm in such a terrible condition. If you could just turn on Cleo and get the story, I can get you out of here and set you free as the black man. Shut up, Maddie. Okay?
Who told her that flinging around white privilege down at the jailhouse was going to give you the answers that you seek? Because she's got a habit of just saying, I'm going to go talk to these niggas in jail. so I can get my story. It didn't work out with the last guy, Maddie, because he broke out just to come pop up on you at your house. This does not work. This plan, this is not a good plan. And then see, she don't know that Black people have a unwritten rule, especially when you in the hood. We don't do that snitching stuff. Okay, you don't know that. You just because you got a little apartment down there, you don't know the rules. We don't do that. And he's not, even though he might not have been the best husband, Slappy still go by them hood rules. I don't care if she is alive right now. I don't care if she got a house on the west side. If she don't want people to know, I'm not finna cooperate with your story. Get out my face and don't come back up here.
Ashley?
It's the fact Slappy wouldn't get a job, but he willing to do a life sentence, sir.
That's hood mentality at its finest.
That is crazy as hell to me, Slappy. We could have circumvented this entire situation, but now you gonna stand on big business. Yeah, I'm gonna sit here. I don't care. Because my wife's not foolish. Okay, dummy. And I mean, Maddie's just Maddie. I don't expect more from her, but this was not realistic for me in my mind. I watch First 48. Them Negroes snitch. They say they don't, but they get in that room under them lights and they tell it all every time.
I just like to say we putting a whole lot on Cleo not being foolish. There was a lot of foolish behavior within this show.
Absolutely.
Nikki,
y'all literally took the words out my mouth, because Slap is still a terrible husband. He don't even know his wife. To say my wife ain't never been foolish, your wife ain't been nothing but foolish. I got nothing for Slappy. He really irks my nerves. He is such a deadbeat. Might not have been the best husband. He was a terrible husband. He was a deadbeat. This whole mess is, I feel like this whole mess is because of him. It literally is because his black ass didn't want to get a job. Like, it irks my soul that he got the nerve to be behind the plexiglass. Like, he just the number one husband. Like, he Bonnie and Clyde, ride or die. You couldn't even get a job, bro. Like, it irks my soul. It irks my soul so bad that he want to act thorough now. Oh, you gonna shake the hand of the man that killed your dog? Baby, sit down. Like, sit down, shut up, and do the same thing you've been doing while Cleo out there working and you sitting on the couch with your buddies. He could still be sitting on the couch right now for all I good goddamn care. I really ain't got much for Slappy Johnson. I really he irks me. He irks me. But also for the last slide, yes, Teddy is a class act. Absolutely throw it up for the little boy. Amazing. I love him. I love when he said Mr. Gordon's boy. Like, you ain't even got a name, baby. You Mr. Gordon's boy.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna take this off for a second while we have the peak of what may be the peak in here, almost 90 people, because we wanted to take a moment to acknowledge some of our favorite moments in the show, because this is a limited series, and after this, we ain't gonna get no more. So I had to put a little something together so we could just reflect for a second.
Please don't leave me burning, burning, yearning, feeling inside me. And it hurts so bad.
Thank you for your time.
You better sing, Dora.
Someone show Miss Helpline the door.
My story. You had a nice little suburban life, and it was over. And Frank had it a lot harder.
My wife! That's my boo up there. Look at her. Yeah. T-line, dressed in red. She drink coffee, bed again.
And I go. This is my quest.
And there'll be a lot of opportunities for you.
Opportunities for what? To surrender my dignity.
And my shadow feeling blue.
I have an ethical quandary I'd like to talk to you about right now.
I'm sitting in the can to get away from those yammering cocksuckers. Do I look like I have the inclination to share my words of wisdom with you right now?
And some hoes
You a good boy. Matter of fact, come on. Oh, you want some of this too, Pigger? Come on. My name didn't mean for you when my wife was wearing it.
But in this country, in this city, white makes right. That's all you are.
You want to tell us who we are?
The same way you came here to tell me who I am, Miss Morgenstern.
It's hard if you don't tell me anything truthful.
But you're the one who's lying.
You went for the kishka, huh?
What do you want me to say, huh? I sympathize with the guy. Excuse me, ladies, but my food's getting cold, and there's not much home cooking going on these days.
Well.
You're lying. He broke into my apartment.
Stefan would have told me.
Boys don't tell their mothers everything. You were right. He loves talking to me. I don't think you're stupid, Kasha.
Get on in there, because you tried it, bringing your butt here. Like Kay said, you ain't had no badge, you ain't had no warrant, girl. You ain't have nothing, baby. What you doing there? But we definitely needed to reflect on those moments. There were a lot of shining moments in the show, but I'm gonna need them to put neck bones and some home fries, Havana Nights on Apple Music or something, so I can kick back and put Dora on anything.
Yes,
please. I would buy it. Baby, the way this was comedy for me. Ooh, Cleo, it's still you, baby. Cleo, it's still you. Cleo, it's you, girl. I'll take Cleo in his pencil mustache and his beard and the afro. She looked like one of the Jacksons. I just could not take any of this. This disguise, I absolutely got it. I love what it represented, having to move in this space and not really being able to move in this space in this decade where there's her or Maddie unless you are a man. So, hey, let me make the transition happen. But Cleo in this disguise sent me through the floor because, girl, okay, Cleo, we see you, girl. It's still you. But we got Cleophas Johnson here. This Cleophas is not Cleo. Banking on Teddy and a suddenly gullible Mr. Gordon. And we also see a lot of resentment and regret through Reggie. What Reggie ends up doing, I definitely saw that coming. I expected it because he's been, really reminiscing on probably the things he's done in his past. He's been tired being, the go-getter for Mr. Gordon, and probably disappointed with how Dora ended up. But when it comes to Mr. Gordon, I just felt like Mr. Gordon was smarter than this. I did. From the Gordon that we saw, just the whole charade that had to happen, even for us to get inside the Gordian and set it on fire, and the whole situation with the books, I just feel like Mr. Gordon would have, saw this coming, but it might just be me. Nikki?
This whole ending sequence was such a joke for me. Cleo in this outfit. Do y'all remember Steve Buscemi in the high school hallways? Like, what up, fellow kids? Like, you're a 40-year-old man masquerade. Cleo should have talked to a few studs in the hood. I mean, you could see the boobage. Like, she literally looked like a pretty woman with that. Like, women don't have afros. That sent me as well. So to be a man, you put on an afro. Like, women wear afros. Like, she looks like a pretty woman with a little mustache. This was so ridiculous. And then you have got to be the worst. How you get beat up by a cripple? Reggie could barely walk. He is cut off at the knee, and he was able to beat up the elevator guy, and it all felt too contrived. Like, you have Shell Gordon has survived decades. He has survived in this game for a reason, because he's strategic, because he's smart, because he's thinking. So the fact that this went down, but that's why I said it felt like they was just trying to wrap the ending up with the bow. And we should have at least had a plan that maybe spanned a few episodes of trying to get him, because the way they ensnared him and this whole thing went down, and Reggie just at the bar with the gun, like, all right, it's over now, bro. Like, call the cops. Like, I just hated this whole ending. And then my baby Teddy. Oh, hey, Ma, what's up? Like, yeah, we thought you was dead. Forget all that trauma you put on us. But yeah, that was strange. I'm sorry, but that is strange. You literally made me think you were dead, murdered. I wasn't feeling this entire sequence. It felt very contrived. It had a lot of conveniences. And also, Reggie and Cleo suddenly being bosom buddies and carving their names in the trees. Like, wait, how we go from Dora, wake up, like, if he want to kill me, to no, Reggie, you don't have to do that. Like, I just was not here for any of it. It made no sense at all. No. And even Reggie saying, think about your boy. Since when the hell Reggie been thinking about her boys? When has he been thinking about, okay, I'm done? Like, it's just, this whole ending was a mess.
You remember the episode when he was like, I need Cleo dead, Christmas Eve. But the boy's gonna be there with it. You want me to knock her off on Christmas? The boy's gonna be there. I love the beat down in the elevator. That was sending me, because Cleo was standing there nervous, sweating on that mustard. God damn it.
Okay, I'm pretty sure Mike Tyson with one leg could still knock me out.
Get the elevator out there. He's a boxer. Get the elevator. I enjoyed that, but I also enjoyed Reggie. I saw this coming. I knew Reggie. There was some light in Reggie, even after he hemmed up Dora, which I hated. Or tried to step. You could just see that he was stepping into a role that was made for him with his relationship with Mr. Gordon, and he want to do this. He want to be the disposal guy, the beat up guy. Like, he's tired. Reggie was tired. It's unfortunate that he couldn't, get his freedom right along with everybody else. But just the way that we got Gordon, I was like, I needed something a little bit more finessing to happen, because I feel like he would have been smarter than this.
And Reggie is literally an abuser. He was abusive. He yoked up Dora by the neck. Okay.
Ashley?
I'm going to posit this in terms of the bad costuming for Dora in her disguise. I mean, very much giving Clark Kent. I was like, girl, you go into the phone booth and put on glasses and now you're somebody different. But I'm going to say this, right? That sometimes, and maybe they were going for symbolism in this moment, the things that, listen, sometimes it doesn't need to be so well hidden. And a lot of times betrayal is not well hidden, right? it's in front of us. So I'll just posit that. But what pissed me off utterly was that we still didn't get to the bottom of Shell and Reggie's deep relationship that they've been building throughout this entire series. They'd have us believe this was a father-son situation. There was a deep love. They also would have us believe that Shell had this great business acumen and he was on top of everything, yet he still didn't know about the Christmas numbers in the last episode, which made me think, sir, how do you not know what's going on with your business? Like, how you know who's not hitting the numbers, who's hitting the numbers? Sir, how were you so deceived in this last episode? You don't know a diversion when you see one. And then if the relationship between him and Reggie was so deep, how in these final moments was it so easy for Reggie to pull out that blicky on him? Things that don't add up in my mind. I needed this relationship more fleshed out. Maybe we get a call back to them younger and him saving Reggie from something, or maybe he's kin to Reggie in some way. But as far as the dissolution of that relationship, it really bothered me. I would think that Reggie would have more of a moral dilemma with, putting him out. Also, this daggum plan, y'all both gonna go to prison for the rest of your lives. Then why does Cleo need to hide anymore? Why do y'all need to burn down the building? Like, I don't get any of that part, right? I don't get it. Why?
I just don't see old Gordon chilling like Reggie. Oh, we just gonna go to jail now. I feel like Gordon would have you hit in the jailhouse. But it's I look for some type of information because I really thought we would get a moment. But from what I could see, Mr. Gordon is just somebody who took Reggie in and he just has no one. He has no family. Nobody cared about him, just kind of picked him up off the street. And, that's just their bond. It didn't really go beyond that. Okay.
So I watched this episode in like pieces so that I can make sure I soaked it in, and maybe that's part of my ADHD. Because if I watched it straight through that first time, I was half watching it. I literally had to like rewind to go back. I think they started the fire so that the police could come and investigate the building as a whole, which is why at the end when you see they had his books. And they had the whole system of how he runs the numbers game, which is how the government ended up taking over what Shell was doing. So that was the purpose of starting the fire so that the police could get involved to see what was going. I'm pretty sure they didn't know that the government was going to be like, "Ooh, this is a good idea. Let's do it too." But nonetheless, that's kind of what happened. Cleo over here looking like she's about to go sing "Blame It on a Boogie." So I don't know how nobody. I'm like, y'all don't see this little man, this little gangster. Don't shock anybody in here. Let's you gotta hide a little bit harder. But if we think about it, she was supposedly deceased for 3-4 months, maybe longer. And so I'm pretty sure within that time frame, the only other person who knew she was alive right now was Reggie. So within that time frame, I'm pretty sure that's how they became, a closer friends, because his girl is passed, her best friend is gone, her family doesn't know she's alive. He's the only one that can help protect her until they get this whole plan. And of course, they know they had to do something to get over on Shell because being that she was still alive. And so I really think that they just took that time to say, how can we not only take him down, but instead make sure that you're protected, and then this heifer that's trying to expose your story gets taken. Make sure she get a story too. Like, we can't it ain't enough for you to just run because now she out here investigating. We got to give her something so that she doesn't do your story instead. So I think that maybe he got tossed in there as a way of we gotta give her something so she don't come out here poking and digging around like she's been doing.
I just felt like there was a way, Kay, for Cleo to not have to be dead anymore. I did. D.
10 out of 10, no notes.
What? Where, D? 10 out of 10, no notes. D, this was 10 out of 10, no notes.
You're not taking it back.
Okay, so wait. Okay. I don't quite have the smoke for Undercover Brother that you all do. But but I do think, and this is not me making an excuse, but I do think, and this isn't the only show that has suffered this. I do think, considering that a lot of shows have still been suffering consequences of the writer's strike and other behind the scenes things with budgeting and things like that. I'm thinking that this, because 7 is a very strange number to end off on, and I don't know if that was the original plan or if there was some cuts that needed to be made. But this definitely felt, and this whole sequence was a great example of that. But this whole episode felt like, okay, we got to end this. So like we have to drive forward some conclusions in a very compressed manner. And so I think that's the issue. Like we definitely needed like some deeper exploration of some things, even if we were going to get here. And I do think tonally, considering how serious this show is, this definitely felt a little more parody, satire, SNL-ish. I don't think that was the intention, but it was an odd choice, I think, to make. But I do think that has to do. I think that contributes to a part of it. I will say that.
Yeah. I was just here for Teddy in the scene. Teddy, it takes a whole lot. You went up in there against Mr. Gordon with your little stack. All right. With your lie. I would have loved a sit down conversation of Mama, we mourned you. I just wanted a little bit of that from Teddy because that has to be a lot. As soon as this scene happened, I was like, "Ooh, I was right. Teddy knew this whole time." And then it was just like, "Oh, Mom, I can't believe like you're alive." And it was just like, "Yeah, let's go." I was like, "Oh, that's it." Child, the way I would have flipped everything over. I've been holding it down, taking care, nursing Lionel, walking around here, slapping on. You was playing dad. Yeah, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I just wanted one moment, but like you said, D, we need to wrap it up. We need to wrap it up. So I do understand. But yeah, this blame it on the boogie that was sending me. Shredding evidence. Seth's distrust of Maddie and Cleo's story becoming old news. Now, at this moment, I thought for like 2 seconds, like, I don't want to lose my son. I thought that's where I I thought it was about to be like some revelation on Maddie's part. Like, I wouldn't want Seth. Seth, you feel this way? I thought there was gonna be a moment. But in that moment of Maddie actually getting off the phone and she's talking to Bob and he's telling her about the Gordian and all this, pretty much all this story you've been working towards this entire time doesn't matter. Somebody's confessed to those murders, Cleo. Somebody's behind bars. Can't use Slappy anymore. He's about to get set free. So yeah, we're moving on. I thought, for a minute she was gonna pick Seth up off the ground. But no, she left him down there, and now he's at Milton's house, which is fine. That's what he always wanted to be. Actually, I know you didn't, but I'm asking anyway. Did you have any hope for Maddie in this moment?
Maddie is incapable of human connection, like non-toxic human connection, right? And so Seth shreds it up, and she's being dramatic. Oh, you didn't have to do that. He's like, yeah, I did. And baby, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did, because she would expose you. He said, I don't need Milton to ever get an inkling that I'm not his child, because that's my safe place. You're unsafe. And she said, I would never do that to you, Seth. He was hugging her. She was on the right page, right? Like he's like, oh, I'm hugging my mom, blah, blah. When she said, you're first to me, I would never do that to you. Get off me, liar. Maddie, she can't tell the truth. She cannot tell the truth. She should have just kept that comment to herself and let the hug ride out. She's incapable of positive human connection. And I hate that for Seth, but go on with your racist daddy, Seth. Go on be with Milty. Because Maddie ain't it. She's an ain't-ish mama, and she always will be.
Oh. Kay, did you have hope?
Justice for Seth. I was looking at some other reviewers and talking about this show, and they were talking, someone spoke about how Seth was just, real, teen angst and just rude and disrespectful to his mom. Like he was just being one of those, rebellious children at the time. And I'm like, huh? Are we looking at the same Maddie? No, she deserved all the smoke that he gave. All of it and then some, because she treated Seth like he was a stepchild, like she didn't birth him and stuff. She lied to him about his paternity. She left, walked out of the house, didn't even say goodbye to him. When she just decided she was just done with Milton, she ain't say, I'll be back for you, boo. You know what? Get in the car with me, pack some clothes, we gonna go. She just said, deuces. And he's looking like, for real? Are you serious? Are you serious right now? And then you want me to come over here to the hood life? I don't even know these people. You don't know these people. You trying to uproot me. This man ain't my dad. He don't know it. You didn't even want to tell me. You leave the house and all you care about is a story from these people that you know nothing about, and you really don't even care about them. He's a lot smarter than her. I hope he's a better person than him and his raggedy daddy, because his mama raggedy too. Justice for Seth.
D.
So I kind of called this before, and just because there wasn't anything implicitly or explicitly stated, I will say that I have a soft spot for Seth the sociopath, and I hope that the number that Maddie has done on him does not result in mass crime, mass murder, and his profile on 48 Hours.
Oh, Nikki.
I can easily take up for Maddie in a lot of instances, because I completely understand her wanting to choose her dream over her child. I know it may not be kosher, but as someone who doesn't want to have kids, I am completely F them kids all day. But I will say this scene was really hard. I was like, how the hell can I defend Maddie in this? Because I feel like even if she wanted a certain life, or even for people that don't want to have kids, or like, I would be a trash mom. Like all day I would, because I'm going to be selfish and choose me. That's why them kids don't exist. But for her to stand in her son's face and literally, and he believes it. Like, he's not, kids, some teens might just say stuff to be hurtful, but he's not saying stuff to be hurtful. He literally does not trust her. When he tells her, you love stories, especially the ones that hurt the most. And she's like, oh, you think I would do it? Yeah. Yeah. Like, that has to be such a punch in the gut. Like, the type of punch that just knocks the air out for your own child. To think that you would do something so diabolical as to wreck their whole world like that. We all know the only true parent he has is trash as Milton. Like, that's all he really has. And to believe that she would take that from him, that's so terrible. Like, that is so, like, that hurt my soul. That hurt my soul so bad for him. But I mean, I still gotta kind of look. I'm gonna ride with Maddie, because I'd rather be off having my career than a damn teenager. Teenagers are, Jesus Christ. No, I'm surprised my mother did not send me to military school. Teenagers are out of control. I wouldn't want one, and I'm not mad at Maddie for not wanting one. But I will.
That was his fault for being born. That's her fault. He didn't come into the world and say, "Hey, mom, can you take me on?" She had him.
I am
after she aborted another.
Exactly.
Really wrap up the story with him and his dad. Yeah, we saw them hook up, but I'm annoyed. Like, we hooked up, and then 9 months later you had a baby. There was nothing in Durst to be like, well, wait a minute. She had, like, I don't know. I'm annoyed we didn't really wrap that up. At least not wrap it up, in my opinion. Like, we saw a flashback, they hooked up, and then that was just it. I don't like that.
But that was a married woman. What he was gonna do?
Prairie and Gordon and setting Cleo free. Why would you go to Slappy? Because I thought it was the better story. This little link up, this wasn't, impactful for me. I didn't care. You know what? I didn't care about a lot of things here. I expected Maddie to be dead, okay? I expected Maddie to become the lady in the lake. I felt like we were fed so much foreshadowing of Maddie getting deaded, okay? So the fact that we're meeting at this lake and Maddie's not in it, I just wasn't interested. She could have went out anyway. I didn't care. I just thought she was gonna die, and the fact that she didn't, I was honestly disappointed. So, Ashley.
Yeah. We knew she wasn't going. The YT privilege wouldn't have existed. You know what I'm saying? Like, it had to end the way it ended just to prove a point about these type of people and how they navigate in the world and how they seemingly win in the end. What I'm pissed about is that we didn't find out what Maddie did. Maddie did something. There is some diabolical truth that's wrapped up in a lie, covered up, that was never revealed. And that's what I'm mad about, not knowing. And my thing is, with Maddie, it's like, girl, she's like a dog with a bone, right? And the bone was Cleo in this story. And I think it's like you missed the forest for the trees, taking down a whole black, secret kingpin situation, like that whole network. That was the big money story. That was your headline. That was your byline. That was everything in all the papers. And you're focusing on the wrong things. Like, and that's just what people do. We all do it at some moments. We focus on the things that don't really matter and miss a big opportunity. And I think that's just what it is. Maddie, she stayed true to me hating her this entire time. And I hated her very much to the very end. But, it was interesting to see her come face to face with, I guess, who her parallel was or supposed to be her mirror. But not really. I don't know. It wasn't as fulfilling as I thought it would be, seeing them sit down across from each other and have this like little, banter. It didn't give what I thought it would.
I was just here for the look. Cleo was giving, Whitney Houston and Bodyguard, stop the plane. Frank, you could have drowned him, Frank. It was giving Whitney, and I was here for that. D.
I mean, I was hoping for. I was either expecting, and if not expecting, I was at least hoping for this scene to involve a shank. And it didn't. So I wasn't really sure what to do after that. And I think, given the title of the series, I was thinking somebody else could have ended up in that lake. But I will just simply say that I understand the idea of their lives kind of crisscrossing and having these weird parallels, and then them meeting in person. But yeah, I just think the shank would have really set it off
for me. Nikki,
I will always ride for the people that are selfish, and for the women that want to hoe around. Even though Maddie didn't hoe around, she was with 4 men. That's light work. She was with 4 men her whole life.
Okay.
But I am very much here for Maddie getting her happy ending. They had their little meetup. Look, Maddie said at the end of the day, she gonna get her story, and she got it. And I'm still confused on what exactly Maddie did that was so terrible the whole series. I'm still confused on that part, but I was very much here for Maddie getting her story.
Oh, Nikki, you would be. You're selfish, mama. Okay.
Absolutely. All day.
Okay.
She sounds just like C coming up here every Tuesday. Somehow, I don't know what Louis did wrong. I don't know what y'all about to come fuss about. I don't see anything wrong that he did. Y'all not seeing the forest for the trees. She did a lot. She did a lot wrong here. She is not type flight security. She is not the police. She is not the boss. She is a mom. Forgot she had the child. She ain't got no kind of authority, but she waved her white privilege around to try and tried to run over, to manipulate and exploit other people's pain and suffering to push herself ahead. She did a lot wrong. Although I appreciate this ending more than in the book. Like I said, I knew because of the book that I told y'all that, at the end of the day, the day gonna end. So the story was gonna end, and we got a wrap up, but it wasn't the fulfilling that we thought it was gonna be. But y'all also have to remember that the book was even based on a true story. So it was only so much embellishment before it moved in far, far left field. But at the end of the day, yes, Maddie she was gonna get some kind of story. She said, "I'm leaving here with something."
Sure did.
I'm leaving.
So either it's gonna be you or it's gonna be this other person. But after I done left my own security at home where I had the money was coming in, and before I had to pop off on my child. Look, I got to get something out. It got to be worth it. Maddie says I'm leaving here with something. This whole story got to be worth it in the end to me. So y'all got to wrap this up and give me something because again, I need to see my name in lights. So Cleo, what you got for me?
We already went through the motions with Ferdy wanting to go down there and get Maddie. So, because we're moving out the hood now. We're moving on to bigger and better things. I can't stay here with you, Cedric. I was like, Cedric, why are you hugging her like it was an honor to take her phone calls? Please, Cedric, sit down. Yeah, Ferdy tried it, and he won't ever try it again at this point because no, the fact that he thought this was anything more than what it was just really, really tired. And I would have loved to have seen another side of their relationship for me to even think that this was at all believable. Because I didn't see the love. Maybe it was because we wouldn't, we weren't really corresponding like we should have to those sex scenes because we didn't like them. Maybe the love scenes are, the disconnect, but even just as far as conversation, I feel like that connection just was never there. It never did much. But when you have Ferdy say things like, Maddie, I expect you to do nothing. I expect you to be exactly who you are. Then you should have known that this was Maddie. You should have known that this was her. The fact that you didn't, brother, come on up. As Maya Angelou would say, come on up, baby. Come on up. The air up there, Ferdy. We expected more, black man, and it didn't give what it was supposed to give. And Maddie said you're more than welcome to pull up and drop it off in my drawers at nighttime, not in the morning. Okay, you still may have to come through the back window, but you're more than welcome to do that. Outside of that, I'm not settling. I don't want to do none of that. I just got free. I just got free. I don't want to be locked down to nobody. I respect that. I just expected more from Ferdy. Actually, I'm gonna come to you. Pick a brother. Who you picking?
You know what? And this might come as a shocker, but if I have to choose, I'm choosing Wood. We going with Shell Gordon because at least he stood on business. I mean, he stuck by what he said he was gonna do. If he wants you unalived, he gonna order it. He gonna do it. He gonna say it. He ain't gonna change his mind about it. Everybody else can't be trusted. I'm gonna stick with Gordon because you get what you pay for with Gordon.
I'm definitely gonna go with Gordon because Slappy, he don't do it up. He got no job. Ferdy, he like white women. He ain't even checking for me like that. And I could vibe with Reggie, but I gotta help him. He got a limb. I don't think that's gonna go over well with old age. I just, then you hemming people up. I'm gonna go with the lesser of the two evils and go with Mr. Gordon. Okay, who you got?
Raspy Reggie redeemed himself a little bit in the end. You know what I mean? You can't keep a good guy down, okay? Who all gonna keep it moving besides Michael Myers and Jason? Y'all, he can be punched in the eye. He need a cough drop the whole. I ain't hear nobody give him a throat lozenge the whole time or some of that old school cough syrup and a hot and toddy. This whole time he been walking, he fell. And that he was on, I don't even know how he got from the boat to dry land. I still don't, to this day, we don't know how he got there. Okay, and yet he still moved the building. He went through the fire in the building and stuff. I'm a rock with Reggie because you know what? He might be immortal.
No, he can't whisper in my ear all raspy every day. That would piss me off.
Reggie oh, you're just looking so good. I just love that dress. You look real nice. I'm gonna take you down after I give you this heroin. What? Excuse me?
I want to know why everybody got a nice picture and you got Reggie looking like this. Like, this ain't right.
He look like this. So you could have let him give him the first time.
This is random. This is random. Okay.
Ferdy too much of a duck. Reggie is a dumb criminal. Slappy ain't got a job. It's gonna have to be diabolical, untrustworthy. I do it for the black community, but I'm killing people in the black community. Shell Gordon.
Okay, Nino Brown did the same thing. Y'all don't be see where the local drug dealers be passing out Thanksgiving turkeys and toys and stuff for Christmas. Okay, sometimes they got to play their role.
What is this? I have commentary on this. Tag me in, please. D, you want to be tagged?
Yes, I would just like to say this. I think there's a lot of disrespect for Reggie that is unwarranted in this situation, because ultimately, no one else in this group that has been shown can like take you to a private little corner and say, "There's a wheezing in my bedroom."
Champion for you, boy.
Who else is gonna give you a wheezing in your bedroom?
Please. D.
Dora loved it. Dora loved it.
Don't be there.
Yeah, no, we won't want to hear that. That's the last thing we want to hear. See, he gonna pass out before we hit the second verse. I'm okay. We not gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Let's just go on and close this off with these people in these extra happy endings, because we put a nice little cute bow on it for Maddie and for Cleo. Maddie finds her purpose and legacy. It was always my story, Maddie, the author. Maddie looked cute in a little pantsuit. Maddie looked cute in her pantsuit. Maddie got her curls. She got a couple of tracks in the back. It was giving what needed to be gave. I like the little suit. She finally got a car. We got a car, and it's not in Milton's name, so I can sell it if I want to. She has found, Maddie is walking in her purpose. It's always been her story. It's just not in the form that she thought it would be at first. It's in book form. She's at a signing. It's a whole bunch of people, so I'm assuming that she's successful. But way to go, Maddie. Okay.
You better go, Alma, giving everybody in this show your curly hair. Child, every girl at one point in this show had some wavy curly hair. I see you. You better give everybody that curly wavy hair. Maybe this is the life she always wanted. So I hope when she goes home at night and there's no one there, not even Seth, when she goes home and she by herself alone at night plotting on her next move so that people can know her, to give her whatever accolades that she need externally. I hope it's all worth it. I hope that she is living her best life. Although at the end of the day, I hope she know what it cost her. And you know what? I don't even know who all she had to sell it to get up there. But I hope it was worth it, Maddie.
Not sell it to, Kay. Nikki?
When I go home alone at night and I don't have no man in my face getting on my nerves, and I don't have no child in my face saying they got a school project due tomorrow, they need me to bake cupcakes for the class, I am living my best MFing life, okay? I am all the way here for Maddie's happy ending. Y'all already know that was what I was going to say. Let's not pretend there are not women every day losing their identity as a mom and as a wife and don't live for themselves. So big up to Maddie for saying, you know what? If anybody's going to look at this, I want to live for myself. This is what I want to do. And I'm home by myself with my books that I wrote. I got my signing. I'm successful and I'm living life on my accord. And we ain't see Maddie sell her ass not once in this showcase. So let's not even put that on Maddie. Okay, Maddie ain't sell nothing but her books. Okay, thank you.
Ashley?
Yeah, I don't care. The devil wins sometimes. You know what I mean? That's all. The devil wins sometimes. And that was just the example that you can be a hellish, demonic individual in this world, walking about, roaming to and fro, thinking about only yourself and putting yourself first, and still come out smelling like roses at the end of the day. Hey, whatever it took, right? Only a couple dead bodies, only a couple stabbings with butter knives, only a couple brokenhearted black men. Whatever it takes, Maddie. Go on, girl.
Assaulting your son in public, abandoning him, leaving with a person that ain't even his real daddy.
Deep.
Go, Maddie.
Listen, Maddie's time in the hood did not go unnoticed, because I truly appreciate it. Like, listen, some things you learn, and the hood is a place of resources. So I wasn't expecting it, and I was truly I actually appreciated the the kinky Kanekalon bust down that she was giving us here. Like I'm like, all right, like give us something. Then yeah. So I'm not surprised. As far as the story, this is what she wanted. This is what, and she was willing to do what was needed to get there. And in the words of a very famous singer, the record shows she took the blows literally to the gut, and she did it her way.
She did. She did. I could. I at this point, I wasn't even mad at Maddie. I was like, Maddie, if Maddie wasn't dead, I was like, okay, well, Maddie got what she wanted in the end. But it's not like we don't see scenarios like this, especially when we're getting over into privilege and whatnot. Normally, they do get what they want. So go off, Maddie. Go off and shake them bundles and pay Freddie a visit. He misses you. Let's go on over here with Cleo. Now, baby, I just want to say for the record, the person who needed to be on stage, they were up there. The person who needed to be on stage, they were up there. Dora needed to be on that stage, and Dora needed to be singing those songs. Who told Cleo to get up there?
Dora. Dora did.
It was not. It made me long for Dora. I'm gonna say that it wasn't the grandstands I wanted it to be. Finally getting to hear Cleo belt out a couple of notes. It was giving what we all give on a daily basis in the shower, and I was like, on the Paris stage, all right. But be that as it may, she's up there. She got her good bust down situation. Everybody got a couple of tracks. It was giving. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Bonsoir, ninjas. The Johnsons are in Paris. Now we see Slappy get out because, of course, Reggie took that bid, and we take our family. From what we could see, I wish we got a little bit more footage of, but from what we could see, we got the boys, we got Slappy, and we're in Paris, and we're living our best life and doing what Dora wasn't able to do. And this is probably in Cleo's mind, in Dora's memory. So, okay, I'll let y'all have that, but y'all know how I feel about Dora's death. Yeah, this was beautiful. It was really, really beautiful, especially a callback to that beginning first episode parade. But yeah, I just wanted to hear Dora, not Cleo. Okay.
You're right. The cinematography in this was really, really beautiful. Like you could literally put this show on and not pay attention, and you would still notice how it looks. Like you would have to stop and look at the show itself. You would have to look at these beautiful brown people in the show. You would have to look at the costuming and the wardrobe and the makeup and the lighting and the camera work. Like you would eventually look and say, "What is this? What are we watching here?" I didn't watch this show week by week, and every time I put it on, my husband said the same thing. "What you watching?" It's the same show. Because he barely paid too much attention to the stuff that I be watching, because he don't do horror. But he look at this every time, be like, "Oh, what is this?" It's Lady in the Lake, the same one I was watching the last time. This is really eye catching, and it will really pull you in. So I really love how it was shot. Yeah, Dora was the one that had to, she had the vocals. Okay, she was really giving it to you. But Cleo is doing this out of her honor because she didn't really pour into her career as she was supposed to. She gonna get better with time. Give her a little bit to build it back up while she's in Paris. But right now they are ninjas in Paris, and they really don't care. People just wanted to come see a show. They just want to see a show.
I'm saying them comments. Am I the only one who saw Cleo board the trout boat, whatever situation? The boys were there, were they not? Or the boys,
yes, they was with them.
The boys are
They're there.
She didn't leave them kids. She didn't leave them kids. Now Maddie left that kid. She might, see him around the
her babies.
But Cleo took the kids with her to Paris. Ashley?
I said, first we all look alike. Now we all sound alike. Ain't no way they heard a record or recording of Dora and then heard this heifer sing and said, "Oh, you're Dora." No, they didn't. They ain't do that.
You'd be surprised.
But listen, go off, sis. Like go off. Do your big thing in Paris. Maybe it sound different there. But to agree, she was not the master vocalist. there, but do what you got to do. And I was like, y'all in the chat at first, Tyra had to let me know because I was like, where the boys at? Are they? Well, I guess they couldn't come to the club. Slappy being slappy. Good, good for them. The whole running off at this point after the trouble was gone, but someone did say, I think Miss Kira Speak said, well, you can't fake your death, right? She'd have to be held accountable for that. So maybe that's the reason she had to leave her identity. We'll see how Paris does them, but yeah, good job. I think she should look for another calling though. I don't know if this career in song will be long lived for Cleo, but here's to Paris.
D, were the vocals giving?
I mean, I think she got a nice voice saying yeah, 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 yeah around the house, right?
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. It's not quite giving the tip of the tongue and the edge of the lip, the tip of the tongue. Like I feel like we need a little more something. But hey, the Parisians seem to be vibing with it, then we'll roll with that, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we listen. I am all for the expats. I'm currently planning my trajectory for that one of these days. So hey, I like seeing what. But yeah, I do enjoy seeing that, and ultimately, whether it was her intention or not, Dora in the end became an explorer.
Nikki,
I want to know how that little jaundice baby got to Paris, because T-Boz said when you got sickle cell and you be trying to be on planes and trains and boats and tour buses, you go into episodes, and that baby been half dead the whole series. So I don't know how that happened, but I don't think that her singing is right. She can hold a note. She's not Dora, but I don't think her singing is bad. But y'all know the only thing I care about: do Slappy got a job or not? Like that's really all I care about, because I guess he's still gonna be a deadbeat. Like ain't a damn thing changed but they zip code, I guess.
Bonsoir. Out there cruising, supporting her, from the sidelines like always. But that's Lady in the Lake for you. Ending this off, what questions do you still have, and how would you have ended the series? I really wanted to get more into the Durst family just a little bit. I feel that we kind of glossed over that after there was a kind of stamp that Teddy Durst is Seth's father, and we just didn't explore anything. As far as Alan Durst's dad, Mr. Durst, I needed a little bit more of that. That would have been nice. I did want to see the kids' reaction to the mother, just popping up like, we mourned you. I did want to see that. And just as far as ending it, I just really thought that we would have death with all of the imagery of the lamb and the baby with the jaundice, little Lionel, whether it was that or Tessie or all that foreshadowing with Maddie or just the voiceovers in the beginning. I knew that there was going to be an additional body in that lake, and it was going to have a vibe of... The interesting part for me was trying to figure out who was going to put Maddie in that lake. I thought we were going to end here with who was about to knock Maddie off, who was coming. You couldn't tell me it wasn't going to be a birdie. I thought somebody was going to take Maddie out, and it was going to be like you were your own, undoing, because you were so invested in this story and the Lady in the Lake, and you became the Lady in the Lake. So everybody kind of getting what they wanted in the end, down to Maddie. That was not on my bingo card. I thought we were looking into some death, but we did not. We kind of had low-key happy ending outside of Reggie, getting locked up and doing a bid. I mean, it was nice though. From what I saw, what was there in that book, there was an amazing job done with what we could have got. But just based off of the narrative that we got for those first, like, probably 4 or 5 episodes, you couldn't tell me Maddie wasn't gonna die. Ashley?
So hear me out, right? I wanted to know what happened to Daddy Durst. I believe that Maddie unalived him. Show me that story. Tell me that. You know what I'm saying? Also, give me some resolution on these kids. Let me know that Teddy and baby brother are well adjusted and okay. Give me more on why Ferdy is acting impotent. Like, I just wanted him to spaz. Give me some anger. Give me some rage. I don't need a docile black man. Do you hear me? Like, his whole 30-year career ruined out the window, and then you don't even want to be with him. Give me a little bit of rage. Like, give me a little bit of something from him. But as far as me, yeah, Maddie needed to go. She needed to be unalived. By Cleo would have been my preference. That would have been great. That would have been poetic. Yeah, and I would have liked to have seen Slappy get a job. And that's it.
The fact that you want Maddie to be an unaliver, that's what it is to me. Like, she did something to that father. I need to tell me she did. Ashley's not gonna let that go. Nikki, what do you feel like we missed out on here, and how would you have ended the series?
I feel like we went around the block just to go across the street. I really cannot believe that everything turned out so simple. I mean, even as far as like Stefan being the killer and Dora being in the lake, I thought this was like, and maybe I had the wrong idea going into the show because I didn't watch any trailers, but I thought this was like a mystery, and I didn't know that the dots would be connected in such a simple way. That was very unsatisfying for me. But I do feel like Maddie should have got some type of comeuppance, reckoning, even if it wasn't losing her life, because like you said, there were voiceovers of Cleo kind of like foreshadowing. What was the scene with all the thousands of Cleos and Maddie eulogy? Like, what was all that supposed to mean or be if there was no like reckoning or comeuppance for her? That's very confusing for me. I definitely would have included some type of way the Durst family in everything present day, because it kind of felt like, well, why were they here? Like, y'all could have just gave us a flashback of them getting it on to tell us that was his dad. Like, we didn't even need them. So, like, I just didn't get, and I understand was in there as a part of Maddie's history and character, but it just felt to me like there was something sinister or something in Maddie's history with the Durst family. They just kept alluding to things. And y'all know Ashley just want to put a body on Maddie, but I am with Ashley, and I do think that they made it seem like Maddie did something. Like, how were you able to know what Tessie's body was? Like, all of those things, like, it annoys me that it really went nowhere and it really didn't mean anything. I don't like that. But just as an episode of television, the finale was fine. Like, it was an enjoyable enough episode of TV, but as far as a closing and a wrap up to the story of Cleo and Maddie and the lady in the lake and Tessie Durst, it wasn't satisfying for me.
D?
Like I said, just I needed a scenario with Maddie that involved a shank and her getting slam dunked in the lake. I mean, there needs to be a lady in the lake. So if there is no longer a lady in the lake, then it is time to replace the lady with another lady, and I have a good candidate who could replace her. So yes, I do think for all the, and like I said, and I'm not making excuses, but I am wondering, like, what did anything get cut, condensed, or because it really had that feel for me. And so I think a lot of what was shown just kind of felt like false leads, or like just these loose ends that really didn't go anywhere. And I don't think, for me, I don't think you always have to dot every I and dot every I and cross every T in theory. But when you kind of open these doors and you have these ideas and these concepts and we have these questions and we have all these ideas swirling around in our minds, I just think I feel like you have to find a way to land the plane. And I think we landed it, but there was a lot of turbulence, and I think like some of the wingtips got scraped and like some of the wheels got banged up on the way down. So too many loose ends, too many questions. I do think something with Maddie and Daddy Durst is up. I just think a lot of things could have come to a close in a much cleaner and effective way. And I don't appreciate the fact that Judith disappeared after a certain point and we never got the induction into the Kitty Cat Chronicles. I was waiting for that.
And Kay?
The series actually expanded more on some of the things than it did in the book. So like this was like this was a much better wrap up because a lot of the stuff that happened with like the Durst guys, it was just like alluded to. There wasn't no real concrete. So you know that answer wasn't going to come in the book either. The book kind of just ended really with Maddie going with the story of Lil Tessa over Cleo and just said, you know what, I'm gonna let her have her little life because this is wrapped up in her being the side chick to this politician, and they're gonna want her to be unalive because she got pregnant by the person. And so she just said, I'm cool on that. I'm gonna let you do you, and I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna ride on this story and go with what happened with little girl over here. And like that was like it. Like Nikki said, we went across the globe just to go across the street, pretty much. But at the show, at least the show gave some depth to some people. We got more on Shell, we got more on Dora. We had a whole introduction to Cleo and her children, and gave her a husband and gave her parents and stuff like that. Like the book didn't give her any of that. It was literally the Maddie show with just Cleo, just like, why are you investigating me narrative. So I feel like I got more justice in the series than in the book. But yeah, it was a lot to go all the way there just for the thing that was right there in front of you.
I can see that, Kay, but once you spend about 5 episodes opening up all these doors and narratives, you have to close them for us in the finale episode. I do feel like there was some snippets. You can't tell me this went 8 episodes.
I mean, I feel like that about a lot of TV shows these days. I don't like the 6 to 8 episode thing that they've been doing within the last since with the pandemic and the writer strike. Like we're not getting full seasons of. I don't feel like anything has been wrapping up the way that we needed to lately because of just the. I don't know why they're compacting.
What happened to 10 and 12 episodes? Like,
exactly. Everything is just so compact. Everything, and I don't like it.
I don't know, y'all. I
don't like it.
I just thought Maddie was gonna die.
You want something terrible from Maddie so
exactly.
bad.
It was foreshadowed.
I wanted Seth to be the one to take her out.
All of that dramatization. I was like, all of that foreshadowing, the baby goats and lambs and pigeons, the stab wounds. That was all just to have the situation happen with Stefan's mom, and it's just like, see, you poking your nose and whatever where it doesn't belong, and now you got stabbed. No, like I literally thought Maddie was gonna die. I did. I expected Maddie to end up being the lady in that lake, and you couldn't tell me she wasn't. So the fact that she's still, running around with bundles is just, I'm bewildered.
See, y'all wanted what happened was y'all wanted Ferdy to get lynched instead of losing his job. Y'all wanted Milton to come over there. Y'all wanted Milton to come and to take Maddie out for sleeping with Ferdy.
Is that what happened in the book?
I think you getting confused. Okay, this ain't the white panel. This is the black panel. We did not want.
I was like, what?
Who wanted that? Trying to get out of here. Hell no, Ferdy's rolling the book wasn't even all that anyway. The show even gave him some more. He wasn't even doing all that in the book.
We didn't want that. We wanted something different for our main people here. And you talking about Maddie's cup uppers, I wanted Cleo to be dealt with for what she did to Dora. I don't care. Y'all trying to justify that. Girl, my name is not Yonetta.
You the only one you think that body should have went to waste. Dora was going to OD at some point. Even if she probably would have touched down in Paris and got some of their new stuff or the French stuff and still would have OD'd. That body was going to be
her
available.
business. That's her prerogative. If she would have OD'd in Paris, I'm sure one of the band members would have gave her a proper burial. She would have had a whole. Her name would have at least been on it.
So we just gonna waste a perfectly good corpse, is what you're saying.
Oh wow, this is a diabolical panel, y'all. They don't care. It's terrible individuals. Don't die around none of it because they're gonna use y'all for nefarious purposes. Let me get out of here. It's too much. She need to answer for that. But y'all, that was Lady in the Lake. this was a good time. This was a great panel. We really, really appreciate Alma giving us her time. Like,
Yeah.
can't wait to have her run this back. Like, y'all want to talk. Oh, now y'all want to talk when I leave. All right. Yeah, but yes, Miss Alma, we had to give you your time and give this finale its time too. But let me thank y'all like always for being here, and then we're gonna come back and let you guys know what we have coming up on the channel.
Ruling the way that I move. Now breathe your air. You only can rescue me. This is my prayer. If you are mine, if you are mine, I wouldn't want to go to heaven. Cherish the day, won't go astray.
Come on, Sade. I miss these little breaks. I gotta use that song for something else. D, I'm gonna come to you first. Let the people know what you got coming up on your channel.
Hey everyone, this is D Movie Man, fellow cinephile, popcorn addict, and emerging film critic, coming to you all with reliable recaps, reviews, and reactions. First, let me say that I am sad that Lady in the Lake is coming to an end, but this has been such a gratifying experience in more ways than one. Not just, getting to the point where Alma has popped on here and we've had these great interactions with her, but just in general, just being a part of this with these great panelists, great people, great YT folk, or YouTube folk, I should say. But yes, outside of that, yes, all you can find all things cinema related on my channel. I have recently took a nice little trip over to New York, and I had the chance to see an AMC Screen Unseen film called Skincare, and I switched things up so you get a little bit of navigation through this extremely massive movie theater. You get a little bit of the city in there, so there's that. I also just dropped yesterday another video series I've been thinking about starting, where I get into alternative casting for certain films and just understanding like the people who might have made it into certain roles and how very different those films would have looked. So check that out as well. And lastly, I'm literally about to post tomorrow my review for Alien Romulus. Didn't have a chance to see it when it came out, but I just saw it and I have some thoughts. So yes, I would definitely appreciate the support. Feel free to do all the things that we want you to do on our channels, and yeah, I would absolutely love to have you.
Thank you, D. Ashley, with the sweet perspective, what you got coming up, girl?
Child, you already know. So if you go out, you can find the individual recap review for Lady in the Lake tonight. I will have episodes 1 and 2 of Reasonable Doubt, that review up, along with another from An Interview with a Vampire, episode 6. Don't forget, Tuesday we talk vampires. Tomorrow night we are talking Tyler Perry, honey. And then we have Love is Blind this week. We have Reasonable Doubt and Bel Air, y'all. So please just make sure you're subscribed to everyone. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. And thanks so much for hosting. What a beautiful experience and a beautiful show. If you watching this after the fact, we still loved it. Okay, it was beautiful.
It was. We never said that. Never said we do that. We love this. We love it. But we gonna critique it.
Period.
A Night of Horror. Nikki, what do you have coming up on your channel?
Yes, hello, beautiful people. I am Nikki. My channel is A Night of Horror, where I do mostly horror content, but I also do other genres as well, recaps of TV shows. I also have my Alien Romulus video coming, and I will also be ranking all of the movies in the Alien franchise. I just dropped my review on Trap, which I might be the only person on the planet that really liked that movie, but check it out for my full adults. I also have my video coming up on Cuckoo, that new movie, and also for the non-horror fans, I have my review up or coming up for the new movie by John Woo called The Killer. And as well as every Saturday is Horror Saturdays, I have my KillerCon live horror panel where Kay and Tyra are there with me, as well as a special guest. We play games, we talk horror, fun horror topics, serious horror topics. And upcoming, I will be covering the From TV show. And we have another horror series coming that escapes my mind right now, but I have a lot of stuff coming up. So just subscribe to the if I can talk, subscribe to the channel and just have your bell notification on so you know everything that's coming up. I also do my live watch alongs, breakdowns of TV shows, movies, my tier list ranking. I did my summer horror tier list with Kay. We did that a few weeks ago. If you haven't checked that out, I also did Would I Survive These Horror Icons tier list ranking. Who would I survive and who would I die by? So that is there as well. Thank you so much. I will see you in whatever we do next. You muted, Tyra.
Uh-oh.
I ain't never muted y'all. Who did? Who said that? Who did that? Last but not least, Kay, tell the people what you have coming up. Go ahead, Kay.
I'm gonna run this down really, really quickly. Okay, tomorrow we have Why Did I Get Married 2? Y'all, the first review was hilarious. Run it back again tomorrow. Tuesdays are for Interview with the Vampire. Let's see, we got Love is Blind, Bel Air, Reasonable Doubt, Horror Panel. I'm trying to get these reviews out for Long Legs and Oddity. September is coming up. We have Grotesquerie coming. Y'all just hit that subscribe button because we got a lot of content coming and we need you to be there. And thank you to everybody who came and watched this interview, watched this review, stuck around with us, watching Lady in the Lake, here for our reviews, commentary, and all the things foolishness. So thank y'all.
Absolutely, absolutely. We do work together quite often, y'all. I did put in the chat that we have things like Grotesquerie from the Aaron Hernandez show, the new Chaos show that will be out on Netflix. But we all work together to correspond in these streams. So it's important that you are subscribed to everybody here, because I might be hosting Grotesquerie, Kay could be hosting From, Ashley could be hosting Chaos, but we're all going to be doing things together as a group. Subscribe to everybody. Subscribe to everybody to make sure that you are not missing out on anything. But Grotesquerie, the FX series From, and also the Aaron Hernandez, that's also a Ryan Murphy series, also on FX, and Chaos. I know most definitely those are things that are going to be coming up, so be on the lookout for those 4 shows. And please join us tomorrow to get all off up into Tyler Perry. Please join us for that. It's always, a really, really good time, as well as, Tuesdays when we talk Interview with the Vampire. But you guys have been amazing. Alma was absolutely amazing. And we hope we get the opportunity to speak with and correspond with people from the show. This is what we need. Do more of this. Do more of this. So, really tap into the audience. And I hope y'all had just as much fun as we did. And be on the lookout for whatever we have coming up next. There's going to be the same input and energy put into every single live. Support us so we can support y'all. But we will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good night.
My